PolandTrade.info is a directory of international trade with Poland. The most important section is a catalog of Polish exporting companies organized by industrial sector. The reason this product is important is because in February of 2017, the Polish Agency for Foreign Investment, PIZ, changed their name to PIH. And more importantly, they changed the direction from promoting foreign investment in Poland to helping Polish companies export abroad. And they're not just changing their direction, they're putting a lot of money behind it. They're investing 36 million zlotys to open 70 offices around the world and hire 140 people. They're also exhibiting at numerous conferences and trade shows, all in order to help you sell your products and services overseas. But the big problem is nobody knows what Poland exports. These 140 people just don't know what products and services you're offering. And they're too busy to spend all day searching for them on the web. And Poland exports a lot. Here's a map from the International Trade Atlas organized by industrial sector. You can see in each industrial sector there's so many things that Poland exports. You can zoom in on the left. They've organized it as a circular tree, and on the right we zoom into a little bit, and that's just by industrial sector. That's not even linking to companies, and that's not linking to the multiple products that every company sells. There's just too much complexity in the Polish economy. There needs to be a better way to manage it. So let's take a look at the demo. This is the PolandTrade.info website. It's organized as a tree of categories. So at the top level, we see that there are Polish cities and regions, international trade with Poland, by industry sector. Down here, information about exporting from Poland and information about Polish developers. Let's take a look at the by industry section. Semiconductors, life sciences, other industries, aviation, Polish software industry, transportation industry, venture capitalists in Poland. We'll take a look at the larger section, the Polish software industry. Business applications, educational software, famous Polish software companies, fintech, Polish outsourcing companies, IoT in Poland, mobile market, game industries, Polish language websites. If we zoom into the generic outsourcing companies, here we can see a table of, I think it currently has some 28 Polish generic outsourcing companies. So you can see the name of the company, what they link to. You can click on the link to their company. On the farther right column, you can see what it is that they specialize in. And here they have their jobs, and more importantly, they have apps and products they've built, reviews of the company, blogs, information about their clients. This company offers workations, all kinds of useful information about the companies. We can also search. There's a search box. I'll leave that for you to do at home. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. Here we have the presentation. On to the next page. So a number of companies have national directories. You can see the country here, the name of their directory. Most of them are 2 levels. Slovakia has a 3-level directory. They have a different number of categories, and they have a different number of companies. Now, Poland's interesting. It has the most companies. It has 14,000, over 14,000 companies. And if you have a 2-level directory and you want to minimize the number of items in each category and the number of categories, you end up with 120 categories, each containing 120 items. But that's still way too much for any individual to comprehend. Humans like to keep lists down to about 7 items. That's how much we can hold in our brain. So you really, to manage something as complex as the Polish economy, you really need a hierarchical directory, something like what PolandTrade provides. There's no limit on the number of categories in PolandTrade or the depth of the hierarchy. Okay, so let's take a look at the next problem, choosing a city. Say you're a large foreign company and you want to invest in Poland. So you contact Invest in Poland, and the next day they'll contact the appropriate provinces with your requirements. Maybe you need a greenfield site close to an airport. And the next day they'll contact the appropriate cities, and the next day they'll contact the appropriate companies, and a week later you get your offers back. Several problems with this. First of all, there's a delay, number of delays, maybe a week, maybe longer. It's no fun. It's not very interactive. and the buyer, the customer, can't change his criteria in the middle. And finally, the net result may be that they don't get the recommended location that's really best for the client. A number of people I've spoken to about this have also been very concerned about the possibility of corruption. If it's not transparent, then everyone's going to worry if somebody's making some money off of it. So let's take a look at the Poland trade solution. What we do here is we have a map. You click on the map and you can see the different cities. You can just explore. It's kind of interesting. You can learn about the different cities and explore about them and figure out which one is the best. Do some searching. So here we have the demo. Here we have the map. Oh, we're going to click on Katowice. I actually live in Katowice, and that's the best developed. And so when we come to Katowice, actually there's a whole new a directory just about Katowice. It's got 49 entities, and they can click around in here and see whatever it is they want to learn about Katowice. So most of the other cities, when you click on them, they go to the invest in that city website, and they have the best information about that city, so they can browse and find what it is that they need. Let's go back to the presentation. On to the next slide. The other problem is that Poland is not a brand name. Unfortunately, until recently, the government was not publishing Polish products. The world just does not know about all the wonderful Polish products and services. And the worst part is that major Polish companies, I don't want to name names here, they hide the fact that they're Polish companies. So one very famous internet company, again, I don't want to say who it is, when you go to their English language website, it says they have a New York office. And it's only if you know to search in Polish that you see, oh, their Polish language website says that their head office is actually in Warsaw. So we need to really thank the companies that are proud to be Polish. And the prime example is Witcher. They produce a very famous game. They're worth over $1 billion. And they're very proud that they're Polish. They tell everybody about it. I am trying to expand this list to find the other major companies that are proud to be Polish. And then I also would like to ask the government to create a separate list, which is those companies that are hiding the fact that they're Polish. We need to publicize, in fact, the government needs to publicize their names and shame them into acknowledging that they're Polish so that the whole world can see what the wonderful Polish products and services are and can buy more products from brand name Poland. On to the next slide. So who cares about this? Who are the users? Well, the primary users I'm interested in are Polska Agencja Inwestycji and Handel, who are opening up 70 offices and hiring 140 employees. Each of those employees must talk to 5 or 10 foreign companies every day, and they really need a good directory so they can find exactly the companies that can help export to that particular client and generate the lead and make the introduction happen. This is also should be used by the National Chambers of Commerce, the National Chamber of Commerce, and all the local chambers of commerce. The National Chamber of Commerce includes 150 other chambers of commerce, one for each of the voivodeships, one for each of the towns, and then there are a bunch of industry-specific chambers of commerce. I'm very interested in working closely with the industry-specific chambers of commerce. And finally, we have the international chambers of commerce. There are reportedly 18 of those in Poland. I know there's 6 Polish-American chambers of commerce in the US. I estimate there must be about 100 Polish chambers of commerce in other countries. I'm slowly compiling that list. How big is the market that we're talking about? Well, in 2016, Poland exported $187 billion worth of goods. And if this website can increase those exports by 1%, and there's a 19% tax rate in Poland, that comes to about $200 million additional revenue, tax revenue for the government. So I'm hoping that Polska Agencja Inwestycji and Handel will have a little bit of money to invest in this project. I invite you to test drive it. It's built with Python servers and JavaScript clients. The JSON data is downloaded to the client, so it's incredibly fast. Many people have asked if it's a native app. It runs behind scalable Nginx caching servers, so it'll scale up to as many users as we need, and it runs on scalable Linode servers. I have a number of followers, over 80. These are some of the most famous ones I'm very proud of. If you have any questions, go to PolandTrade.info and click on the contact link. And there you'll find my contact details. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you for listening to this video.